It was women that had a mind of their own. Must have misread that phrase.
Yeah.
Congratulations to the old meeting here. Today is welcome to the Canadian Masters Pembina draw number 16. Tonight's sponsor is Heartland Fertility, and there must be love in the air. No, you're not taking me out. I'd like to congratulate Jim, our ceremonies chairman, and his new fiance, Daddy. And last Thursday, so I think Heartland Fertility too late, Jim, too late. Anyway, this is Jim's portion now. Thank you, Howard. That's a surprise. Hey, that's right. Hey, what's up with me right now is a big hand for the kitchen food staff for the wonderful food. And don't forget the great food. Okay, this is really important. The sponsor for this draw is Heartland Fertility. It doesn't pertain to our age. It just doesn't. There's some people maybe out there who might pertain to, but it does pertain to our sons and our daughters and our grandsons and granddaughters. There's a bit of a story. In the 1960s, the end of the 1960s, there was this small little street in the western part of Winnipeg, St. James. And it's just a small street, and there had to be 100 kids, maybe more than 100 kids on this street. And it was just strong with kids. And the city found out about it, and they changed the name of that street to Fertile Crescent. And that's Heartland Fertility. Fertility was just going running rapid in that town. It was wild. It really was. But fertility, it was about human race and the game of herding is going to thrive. We got to have fertility, and there's got to be young people coming up. And there's going to be babies, and then they're going to go to school, and then they're going to join junior curling clubs, and then they're going to be adults, and then they're going to be seniors. And pretty soon they're going to be right here in the Masters curling for the Canadian Championship. And without fertility clinics, that's not going to happen. So we'd like to thank our great sponsors, Heartland Fertility, and to all they do for the human race. Thank you. Okay, we've got 4 men's games in the championship round and 2 men's games in the seeding pool. Sheet 1, Northern Ontario versus BC. Sheet 2, Saskatchewan versus Manitoba. Sheet 3, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia. Sheet 4, Manitoba host versus Ontario. Sheet 5, Yukon versus Alberta. Sheet 6, Newfoundland and Labrador versus Northwest Territories. Go Winnipeg Jets. Good curve.
Gentlemen, your games will begin in 1 minute. The bell will go in 1 minute.
Hello folks, this is draw 16 of the 2022 Canadian Masters Curling Championships. We've got a championship pool game tonight. Team Ontario playing the Redstones against Team Manitoba with the Yellowstones. My name's Daniel Burchard, and I've got my co-host here, Neil Okamura, and we're going to be calling the game.
Just to let you know, the top teams that made it into the championship flight are Northern Ontario with a record of 7-0 currently. BC sits second place at 6-1. Manitoba is at 5-2. Saskatchewan is at 5-2. Ontario is at 5-2. Manitoba host is 4-3, New Brunswick is 3-4, and Nova Scotia is 2-5. The top 4 teams out of this championship flight will advance to the semifinal and finals.
So after the draw to the button in the practice, Team Ontario has won the hammer. It was very close between the two teams on the draw to the button.
I saw those funny. Nope, I did not.
And the first stone for Team Manitoba host slid through the back of the house. So both teams, they played earlier today in their first games of the championship pool. Team Ontario winning against Saskatchewan, and Team Manitoba host defeating the other Manitoba team. So they're both coming off wins and feeling pretty good. Both teams are hoping to keep up with the winning streak to try and secure their spot in the top 4 places in the championship pool.
Ontario trying to put up a corner guard and has done that successfully.
Manitoba host trying to call a tight guard.
Rock will come into the top 12 foot, and Ontario will attempt to take that rock out and roll to the open side.
Sweeper's just cleaning this one. Nice shot by Dave Halliburton.
It remains in the free guard zone, so Manitoba's second, Mary Campbell, will attempt to come around that center guard. We can probably do it when they're throwing.
And this one just sliding in. And just slide in right to the back tee line. Now, Team Ontario playing out of the Blue Water Curling Club and the Barrie Curling Club. We've got lead Dave Halliburton, second Bruce Cox, third Kevin Daniel, and skip Al Hutchinson. This is Bruce Cox throwing right now. Play a come around, a little bit of a tap on that previous Yellowstone.
The lineup tonight for Team Manitoba is at skip Mark Franklin, third Jamie Hay, second Barry Campbell, and lead Greg Szymanski.
For the hit and roll here. Really curling off that line. Able to avoid their own and stick close to the center line. Sweepers are on it. They got to hold it past this tight guard.
Oh, just rubbed the guard. He's so close to making an excellent shot. Manitoba appears to be trying to play a guard on the shot rock.
Call was about mid 12 foot for this line. You can see really nice curl out of the ice thanks to the fantastic ice crew here at the Pembina Curling Club.
Jamie Hay with a nice guard.
Kevin Daniel, he called for the double peel here.
I think it looks like he's trying to peel off the center guard and come off that yellow one and potentially slide into the rings. Maybe about a half a rock, third of a rock might do that. This one's curling hard. Might have the Plan B race takeout.
And catches the one on the button. Can they sweep it out?
Ooh, I'm going to say that's in. Any takers?
No takers on that one, Neil.
Okay.
It's a good sweep. Got it out of really scoring contention here. Ontario's got lots of chance for lots of room for a draw.
Manitoba will probably try and come around that center guard and try to get fully 4 foot. Line looks pretty good.
Good sweep. Trying to tuck a corner of that, the 8 foot.
Probably see about 2/3 of that stone.
Sweepers are on this one early again. Trying to hold it.
It's going to be
That center
close.
line.
He might redirect onto that second shot stone though.
Well, that's worked out. Good plan B. Move the guard off, catching the back yellow.
With the way the ice is swinging, Daniel, it's pretty tough to put up a guard that's going to cover that shot stone completely. I wonder if he might consider just trying to split his rocks.
Yeah, we're looking at how much ice mid 12 foot. You gotta be fairly close to the house, otherwise anywhere halfway high is gonna be super useful. Now that Ontario has got that second shot at the back of the house, so you gotta be very careful. Turning into a two-ender pretty quickly.
Sweepers are just looking at it right now.
So it might be sliding in. They're going to change the plan, try and sweep it. Get a little inside roll here. How's the angle on that, Neil? Does it jam on the back one?
I'd say because the rocks are pretty close, you probably get a bit of a drag effect playing that turn, so I don't think it should touch that one day. I think the tough part will be trying to make the double and keep the shooter in play. So I think you need a bit of weight to make that double. You can throw big weight, I suppose you could get the nose hit with big weight and make the double.
Yeah, I certainly think that's possible. Sweepers are on it. Curling early. Looking real close. Missed the back one, but not enough to push the top yellow out. So that gets moved behind the corner guard. Yellow sitting one.
Looks like Manitoba is not. I think they're playing the head on the back one, or I wouldn't think so. It looks like they're trying to draw around the center, I would think.
Oh, I thought, what are they holding a broom?
I thought I looked at.
They might be able to sit two if they hit that back one. I think they might be concerned
pretty
if
tough.
Ontario can make a
there's
angle
a-
run back.
Well, the angle run back is definitely there. So it's.
I suppose if they hit nose on that back red, they're probably sitting second shot.
It'll be close. So Manitoba is trying to play the hit.
Sweepers are on it.
The line looks pretty good.
It's looking real nice. It's going to roll in a little bit.
And he will be in
Great
there for
shot.
second shot. So
Yellow sitting two. Putting some pressure on Ontario. Make the draw to the full 8 foot.
Maybe you could use it. You can always go to my office and read back at the chair. It works pretty good.
So Ontario will be playing the in-turn draw, hopefully to hit fully in the 8 foot and get their point.
Sweepers are on it right now. Really trying to get all the way to full 8 foot. We've got 3 of them out there. Trying to help this one. It's really curling. Ontario's going to come up a little bit late. It's a steal of 2 for Team Manitoba host.
Update for you on sheet F. Newfoundland took 1 to lead Northwest Territories 1-0. I'm going to do the update on C. You can do that.
And we got an update on sheet C. Team Nova Scotia took 1 in the first end against New Brunswick.
Update on B.
And on sheet B, Saskatchewan taking 1 against Team Manitoba in the first end. So we got Manitoba hoster in the center guard here. Franklin coming out to help the sweep. Sweep it all the way in here. A little bit short, that's okay.
Update for you on sheet A. BC took 2 to lead Northern Ontario 2-0.
Al Hutchinson calling me corner guard. So the corner guard, we get 2 back with the hammer here. This one looks like it's sliding into the house.
Here's another update.
And another update on sheet E. Alberta has taken 2 in the first end against Yukon.
Manitoba with a nice hit and stick to lie 1.
Ontario's going to give this corner guard another go. Nice corner set up there.
Stuttle. Nope. No beer.
So Manitoba trying to come around that center guard. This one's looking a little hot.
It's going to slide right through the rings. So, opportunity now for Ontario to use that corner guard.
Really see some really nice finish on these inside out shots. Once it crosses the center line, these rocks tend to really move.
Line looks pretty good. It's
There it
just
goes.
a
Now it's
question of
moving.
weight.
Very late curl there. It's just crossed the center line just before the hog line and really moved over.
Little deep though. He's behind the tee line, and it looks like Manitoba will try and freeze to that rock. Looking to see if Manitoba gets a late movement here. It seems to be running a little bit straighter.
Here it comes.
Oh,
Right at the end. So that's probably about half buried. There's just off screen. There's a red corner guard covering about half of that Yellowstone. There we go. We can see that. So Ontario's got to be careful not to move that yellow back onto their red shot, but calling for half weight.
potentially have the chance to maybe even hit and roll behind that center guard, the yellow center guard.
That's what he indicated. So it's probably about half rock, third of a rock with half weight.
Sweepers are
Just the back one, just gotta stick around.
nice shot.
Sit two.
Sticks around for two. Well thrown rock there, Daniel. Using the sweepers effectively. Everybody was involved. That's what you like to see. This rock looks like it has to do a bit of curling.
Still enough of a piece to pick it out.
So what do you think Ontario will try and do?
I think they
Go around
try and
that
follow
corner?
down. And this opens the door for a potential three-ender if you can put another one around that corner guard, I think.
I know they were maybe considering going around that center guard as well, but
You can run back if they move around the center. So
the other advantage to drawing around that corner guard is if you can stick it up in the top 12 foot, then it blocks off the draw back to the back window. Sweepers are working hard on this one.
really on this, they're trying to get. They need to just don't count that yellow, so they've got the full 12. Quite enough
not
to
quite
get
enough.
to get second shot.
Still a dangerous rock there. It's splittable, and it is covering their back shot rock.
Manitoba host is going to ignore that and go around the center guard. Sweepers are on it early to hold it. We have to move now.
Line looks really good. It's just a question of the weight.
Campbell and Zemansky really scrubbed that one in, get to the 8 foot.
See about 2/3 of it though, so chance to maybe hit and roll behind with active bumper weight. Nice rock. Breaking early.
Redirecting and rolling into second shot there.
So Ontario is lying second and third shot. Manitoba is lying fourth and fifth.
First.
And first.
So if you're Manitoba here, hit that second stone and indicating to your eye trying to roll away from the side that's everything's covered. Trying to keep it away.
Guess the danger here is if you roll to try and get second shot, you might be grouping your two rocks together and leaving a double. Suppose there's a potential maybe to get a double takeout if he hit about what, maybe half a rock?
Yeah, I think it's sticking around here is important, but if the line and the weight work out, that's definitely a possibility to catch that back red on the way by.
Is it catching on?
Manitoba's really on this one. Trying to hold it. Just misses catching that back red.
Does he set up a double though, Daniel?
Well, that double becomes risky because potentially there's a jam, depending on how thin you hit that yellow. You got to hit it pretty thin, but you don't want to roll up.
Maybe a half rock might do it.
Just got to be careful with the shooter. These ones can be deceptive. Fairly easy if you throw too much weight to spin up and out of the house.
Could you get shot if you just hit and roll and roll to freeze on the corner of the face of that second shot?
I think it's pretty tough because if you you're probably going to be sitting on the corner second shot if you just hit and roll. So Hutchinson calling for the double here. I think a stick in the 8-foot, you have to hit it fairly thin.
You could probably hit maybe
Third rock, maybe.
third for sure would make it. Maybe a thin half.
So we're moving now. Sweeper's trying to hold it.
Watch for the jam.
Great shot.
Oh, no, he misses the jam.
Very nice. Spins
Nice.
up just to bite the 8-foot. Sitting 2.
Manitoba is indicating they like to go for the hit and roll behind those two rocks in the top 12 foot.
It's a long roll. Roll 7 feet here to get buried.
I guess for the over curls, you could always go for plan B and maybe go for the thin double. Trying to hold
Supers
it
are
out.
on it.
He's going to be close.
Real close.
Oh,
Catches a piece of that red. Not enough. Real close for Mark Franklin. Almost got the double. Looks like it's red sitting 1. They've got a chance to draw 2. Just need a bit more than full 12 foot.
sheet one. Update for you on sheet A. Northern Ontario took one in the second end, but trails 2-1 to BC. Ontario makes the draw for 2, and it's tied up 2-all after 2 ends of play. Okay. Not sure if you heard of the update on sheet A. Northern Ontario took 1 and trails BC 2-1 after 2 ends. On sheet F, Newfoundland stole 1 on the second end and leads 2-0 after 2 ends of play.
Ontario calling the center guard here. Franklin calling Zinansky for draw to the top 4. much from the sweepers yet.
Update on sheet E. The Yukon took 1 in the second end, but trails Alberta 2-1 after 2 ends.
So Manitoba hosts just hanging on to the back of the 12-foot.
We'll just leave it on this. You can just read off of that.
Dave Halliburton calling for the
Trying to come around that center guard, I think.
turn draw.
The sweepers are on it. I think you're going to have to go pretty hard. It looks like he's on the light side.
So those two center guards are grouped pretty close. So keep an eye on that because a lot of rocks getting play. It's will be used for a run back later in the end.
Greg Zamansky will try and draw around those center guards. I'm sure he would like to have this one stop in the top 4 full foiler area. Rub the guard though.
Now those two center guards are staggered.
Ontario will try the intern draw and try and get underneath those two guards.
This one's finishing in real nice.
So he's gonna,
Great shot, top button. Piece of the pin there.
looks like Manitoba will attempt to remove the guards.
Sweeper's just waiting on this. We get both redstones moving.
Nice shot by Barry Campbell, making the double peel.
Opening up that center line.
Ontario is attempting to put up that center guard to cover the rock, and it's come into the top 12 foot. Update on sheet C. New Brunswick scored 1 in the second end, and they're tied with Nova Scotia at 1-1.
Trying to get Barry Campbell in for the double on these red stones. It's gonna curl up a little bit more here. Catch that top one and spin off.
Ontario's looking to replace a guard covering that shot rock that's biting the button.
Sweepers haven't touched this one yet.
Line's really nice, but come into the house again. So there's another double possibility.
Update on sheet B. Team Manitoba took 4 in the second inning against Team Saskatchewan. Now leads 4-1 after 2 innings. Just misses a
just
double.
missed. He left it covered, so I suspect Ontario will try and put up a higher guard.
That red's gonna start looking pretty lonely soon, Neil.
I don't really see any good opportunities for them to get access to it, though, depending on how this guard is placed. It would be a very, very finessey, quiet tap back type of shot. I don't think there's the angle. Is there, Daniel, an angle their yellow in towards the red, left guard?
I don't think that's a pretty tough shot. It might technically be there, but very high risk. So a nice
there's a
high
nice-
center guard.
Nice guard there by Ontario. Do you still try and peel at this point, or you maybe try and come around and corner freeze to the rock on the button?
I think you try and peel here. That guard is very high. You hope for more of a miss or a closer guard on the next one. Manitoba Coastal has 3 stones. It's rolling off a little bit.
Yeah, I think we might have just blocked off that intern side. It might be there, that raise of the yellow. Just talked about it.
Hutchinson's gonna try and replace the guard. Trying to put it back where it was before. Nice high guard. This one's gonna be sliding a little bit deeper. Just trying to set up a bad angle so there's no run back, but finished fairly close to nose, so run back's definitely possible to get that red off the button. If you want to try and hit it on the left side as we're seeing it drag across that back one in the
Bruce was speaking at the beginning. I thought we were
back 12.
Tried to get him.
It was a little quicker on the side.
Yeah.
Got it through probably.
He could be.
Well,
Probably about maybe 3/4 on the inside. Hard to tell from the angle here, maybe not even that thin. Dragging enough. You don't have to miss or hit that one on the button too far on the one side to miss the back.
could have just leave it and then hold it. Just to get the angle, but it was just the worst place.
That intern would be pretty tough to try and sneak it by that guard with any reliability. If you're able to play 3/4 on the inside, you might be able to spin the shooter in off the corner guard. Watching this one, trying to get it to sweep, or to curl, sorry.
He's probably going to get
Real
the race.
close.
It's going to jam or not. We'll see.
It's going to catch that back one. So Manitoba just sitting one. Just needed to curl a little bit more to get that drag. Real close though.
Update on sheet A. Northern Ontario stole one in the third end, and the game is tied at 2.
Update on sheet C. Nova Scotia took one in the third end to lead New Brunswick 2-1.
Is Ontario trying to play just a straight run through, Daniel?
I think so. If they're able to stick it, they'll be able to sit 2 buried. So big shot. Try and get a steal or force.
Got to curl, I think. Got to curl hard.
Finish enough, so that's giving Manitoba an opportunity for draw to get 2.
Would you consider maybe trying the split?
It's got to move a long way. They both got to spin completely, fully into the 12-foot. The guard, it's possible, I suppose. I don't know if it's a necessary risk at this point.
Actually, they'd have to curl quite nicely to get by that top yellow guard, so they're just going to be playing the open draw for 2. Try and come down to their own. That's what happens. Be difficult. Sweepers are just keeping it clean. The weight looks pretty good.
Got some backing with their stone on the 4-foot. Great shot. Manitoba host taking 2 in the third end. nailed the first rock into the top house. Setting up real nice. Stop just on the tee line.
Sheet B. I don't know for sure, but it looks like it. What happened there?
So playing out the corner again. Worked well for them in the second end. This one's sliding a little deep, but definitely still usable with how much curl there is.
An update on Sheet E. Alberta took 2 in the third end and now leads the Yukon 4-1. Update on Sheet F. Northwest Territories took 1 in the third end but trails Newfoundland 2-1.
And there's an update on Sheet B. Manitoba stole 1 in the third end to lead 5-1 against Saskatchewan. Greg Zemansky is going to come down right to his first stone. Just over curling a hair. It's a mistake leaving a little bit of a pocket there.
Good possibility for a double here. They'll have a nice shot, doubles them off and rolls to the
Manitoba is calling the hit and stick. We want to stick out in this side of the house away from that corner guard. A little bit of a roll is okay. And now they're rolling behind the tee line, so it's going to be beneficial for the Ontario team.
I think you were wanting to know.
Ontario changing the call. They didn't like the call from the hack to go around the corner, so they're going to call for the freeze on that back Yellowstone.
Sweepers are on it. Definitely don't want to come up late and put up a guard.
Over curl's dangerous as well because it's going to be open for a hit, and Manitoba gets hit too. Something like it's over curling, but definitely in the house. So Manitoba has an opportunity here to hit and sit two. They just need to leave it in a spot that's not going to be an easy double.
Looks like he's got a good shot. Nicely done.
Roland blocks the freeze, but there's a nose double available for Ontario should they choose. So, yep. That's what Al Hutchinson's indicating. Roll to the corner. That's actually pretty good.
Nice shot there. I think
Probably would prefer that actually,
yeah.
that hit and roll over the double.
I thought I saw Al
Great
indicate
shot.
the hit and roll behind the corner, but maybe that was just the option shot.
Yes,
So
definitely. Great shot.
well done there. Happy about that one. Looks like the Manitoba team will try and remove the corner guard and roll and cover their own.
So Jamie Hay put this back a little bit on release. Try and curl, they get a piece.
And oh, that's
Sails through, so now Ontario's got a chance.
my two.
Goal. Freeze.
always that would be an aggressive call to try the freeze. But it could result in a 3-ender if they try that, and it looks like that's what they're going to try.
They're going to call the other turn this time after over curling on the other side. Oh.
No?
We're going to go back to the same side, just giving a little bit more ice. Kevin Daniel being a left-handed thrower might get a little bit straighter with his out turn here.
This rock is going to have to curl. Looks like he's. Well, the line looks actually good if the weight's close.
Looks like it's going to just bounce it a little bit. Very good line.
That's a nice shot.
Barry Campbell on the sweep right away, trying to hold it. Gets enough to get them both out. And leaves the shooter right back tee line.
I don't think he was looking at maybe trying to. Nice hit and stick.
Franklin's going to try and hit here. The main goal for Manitoba host here is just to make sure it doesn't get to be more than 2 score for Ontario. It's pretty tough to try and group them together to get a double opportunity. There not enough rocks left, I think, to get to that point.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you, Daniel. I think if he can just exchange rocks, and both teams making all their shots and give up a 2, he'd be happy with that. But maybe they get a miss and they can get a chance to get out of this end. He'll get the nose hit. Nice shot. I wonder if Ontario decides to try and get aggressive and try and roll behind that corner.
If Ontario doesn't make the roll, it might leave Manitoba out though with a freeze opportunity. So I think they would like to just hit nose here. Taking 2 is real nice for Ontario. Trying to tie it up.
They've thrown in quite a few rocks down this area now, so they should know what the ace is going to do.
Sweepers are going to curl it to nose. Great shot.
So if you're Manitoba, do you maybe try and make the hit and roll behind, or are you content to just get the nose?
It doesn't hurt to try. There's no split opportunity, so you might as well give it a go. And I think there's enough room to potentially get shot and corner buried or half buried. It's not an easy hit if they're even showing 3/4 of the stone with
I think
how
it
much
even
curls.
helps just to roll to a different position now too, because they've thrown so many rocks down that middle. I mean, I think both teams are pretty confident with how the rock's going to curl there. So try and move it over a little into a little bit different position and create a little bit of doubt as to how that rock might curl. Any updates? You can do that update.
Update on sheet A. British Columbia took 2 in the 4th end to leave Northern Ontario 4-2. We've got Mark Franklin's rock coming in
Manitoba's
here.
going to be close.
Just got to stick around here. You're rolling a little too far.
I think he rolled a bit too far. Good effort though there.
Real close. Just need to curl up a half-inch more. So Ontario's going to have the draw for 2.
Ontario playing the intern draw. Tried to get 2. Nice shot by Ontario, and they make the draw for 2 and take 2 to tie the game up at 4-all after 4 ends of play. So Ontario took 2 in the fourth end to tie the game up. This is a pivotal game for both teams if they want to keep opportunity to make the Final Four in the championship division. Very close to the rings, but it looks like it's a center guard in the free guard zone for Ontario. Update on sheet C. New Brunswick took 2 in the fourth end and now leads that game 3-2 over Nova Scotia.
Seems a pretty good curling here tonight, Neil. Apart from that first end with the steal of 2 for Manitoba, both teams have been on the money for the hammer, taking 2, and now tied up at 4 after 4 ends. You just got to think of it as a 4-end game, right?
Yeah. The only thing that's changed is Manitoba now has the hammer though, so they gain control.
Here, Manitoba here, do you try and get a blank to take the hammer and the even ends?
I'm not sure. I mean, with the free guard zone, it's kind of difficult. I think if the opportunity is there to take a deuce, I would take it.
Yeah, it's one of those opportunities where if a 2 comes up, that's great. Otherwise, don't get yourself into too much trouble.
Update on sheet F. Newfoundland scored 2 in the fourth end and leads Northwest Territories 4-1. Update on sheet E. The Yukon scored 2 in the fourth end and trails Alberta 4-3. Getting back to our game, Ontario made a nice draw around those 2 center guards and sits the rock fully buried on the button.
So calling Zemansky for hit and roll off the corner guard and raise that red out and spin hopefully their center yellow guard behind their shooter, which will roll to the corner.
Sorry, you're going to have to slow down.
Both rocks are going to roll, but the one in the house is not quite enough to get buried. Now, Manitoba host has a corner guard and one in the top 12 foot.
Ontario looks like they're going to play the hit on the rock that's in the rings for Manitoba and try to roll to cover their own on the button.
Sweepers are on it to try and get it to curl. But hard to say, are they going to get it? Oh, and they just get a piece. Just picking it out, and now Manitoba has a chance to maybe go around their corner guard or hit and roll off the red rock on the button. this is Rocks coming in. And a hit and roll, but not enough. Ontario coming back with the hit here. Just going to roll a little bit towards the guard, but still hit and roll available.
Just an observation, Daniel, but it just seems like the 8th seems a little bit straighter on the takeouts tonight than what we've seen in the previous games.
Yeah, I've noticed that as well. We've seen a lot of curl on the hits the last 3 night draws.
Manitoba attempted to make that hit and roll behind the corner guard and curled just a little too much. It's still fully exposed, but it'd be a very difficult shot to try and roll underneath. You'd have to come very close to the guard to get the underneath roll.
So Ontario's down with another hit here. Trying to curl it. This is going to probably roll the other way now.
It's not a bad shot. It makes it extremely difficult for Manitoba to try and roll underneath that guard now. Pretty sure they wouldn't get aggressive and try and draw on that corner guard, but we'll wait and see.
This is one of those opportunities where you can keep going at it to get the blank if you're Manitoba here, right? And if you get a miss out of Ontario, then you can try and sink a second one in there, but Manitoba is pretty happy to continue to play hits.
Update on sheet B. Manitoba stole 3 in the 4th end and now leads Saskatchewan 8-1.
Manitoba host hitting and rolling. Probably can just see all of that stone from the hack in the back 8 foot.
Sweepers are on this one. Oh, it looked like he caught something.
We've seen that a few times from Kevin Daniel on his rocks. I think earlier in the 3rd end, or he made an indication he was wondering if there was something going on with that rock. We haven't seen any issues with any of the rocks the other games that we've watched, so we'll keep an eye on that.
I can't tell. It was going as soon as you let it go. Nothing I can tell.
Is he throwing? 5 and 6.
So Manitoba splitting the house here. Just a good opportunity to try and take two now. Ontario's going to try and hit and roll, try and get them close enough to get the double.
Team Ontario playing the intern takeout. He will hit and roll out, and Manitoba will have that draw again. I wonder if they were maybe looking at trying to come around that corner guard and partially bury it and maybe set up a three-ender.
Yeah, definitely, Neil. It's we know we've seen it some really tough shots to try and get a inside-out hit around a guard. It's very tricky to call the line because we see a lot of movement. So if they get half buried, that's going to be a real threat to Ontario. So Manitoba Host really has a chance here.
I think Mark has actually elected to play the out-turn draw. And just draw to the wide side, content to hopefully set up his deuce. Manitoba has come up light on that shot, so Ontario now has the opportunity to hit the rock and get out of this end. Update on sheet A: Northern Ontario took one in the fifth end and trails BC 4-3.
I apologize to our viewers because we're having a little bit technical difficulties with my sound on the mic here. Been told I haven't hit puberty. Gone back in time. And I apologize. We're going to continue to work on that. Sweepers are really on us. They got to hold it. Oh, and it's going to get a piece. Manitoba Host really regretting not getting in with that first stone.
Or announce more weight.
But he was on center.
Yeah, of course.
2. So Manitoba taking the lead after 5, 6-4.
Yeah, there's a lot of giving going on.
On sheet C, Nova Scotia took 1. Update for you on sheet C. Nova Scotia took 1 in the 5th inning. The game is now tied 3-all with the buzzer.
Greg Zemansky coming in with the top 4 on his first rock.
Ontario looks like you're going to be putting up a corner guard.
And that's going to stop close to the house. A good spot.
You just happen to see what Mark indicated there for this shot, Daniel, if he wants a guard or if he wants it in the house?
I missed the indication, but I'm going to assume he's going to come right down on top, just like they did in the 4th end. Or maybe not. Calling the guard now.
Should curl pretty hard now. Across the center line, and it's a nice shot.
It's a nice tight guard guarding their shot in the 4-foot. Sal Hutchinson's going to call a little freeze or a tap.
It's a pretty difficult shot. From my angle, it looks like you can only see maybe a third at best.
Indicating for back 8, back 12 weight.
Update on sheet E. Alberta scored 2 in the 5th end to lead 6-3 after 5 ends.
So just coming off that Yellowstone and rolling just past their own red corner guard into the open. So now Manitoba host is going to call the hit and roll off that redstone.
Manitoba hits and sticks on the nose, so they lie 3. Are you picking that up if I talk over here?
Ontario trying to hit and roll behind cover, get it close to that other yellow or buried behind their red. Sweeping this hard, trying to get the roll. That's just going to spin enough to cover the yellow.
Just wondering how aggressive Manitoba might get if they're just going to put up another guard. Oh, we're looking to hit that rock. I thought they might try the out-turn draw around the red.
I would have thought so too at this point, but I think they're feeling comfortable with their hits and really want to get a force on Ontario here. So if they are able to sit 2 or 3 in the house, continue to put this pressure on.
He's rolled, good shot. Seems like today they've been having difficulty trying to get line and weight together.
Just hitting a little on the outside of nose and rolling out there.
Mark Franklin has indicated he'd like to play that red rock and try and hit and roll under the cover of his yellow and red.
Update on sheet B. Saskatchewan took 2 in the 5th end. Now trails Manitoba 8-3. And we just saw Jamie Hayes rock, over curl and hit nose.
I think Daniel Ontario would definitely like to hit and roll under now and try and set something up for a deuce. Seems like everybody's been kind of struggling trying to get the rolls on a lot of these shots.
It's tricky because at some point it does start to curl a lot more. So yeah, if you keep the weight up, it runs a little bit straighter. So trying to find that delicate balance.
Nice shot by
Kevin Daniel.
Kevin Daniel. Here's a relatively short run back there for Team Manitoba.
Keeping this one clean, it's real close.
Looks like he's got a good shot. Very nice by Manitoba. I think Ontario's looking to try and hit off that yellow rock that's closer to the wings and roll underneath. Update on sheet F. Newfoundland took one or stole one in the 5th end and now leads 5-1.
So Hutchinson went in between the hit and roll call as well as the tap. They decided on the out-turn hit and roll for Kevin Daniel.
I think this is a key shot for Ontario if they want to try and set up a deuce down there. This one looks like it's hanging. They just have been struggling to try and get those rolls tonight.
Well, there's Curl. They actually had more right. Curl.
So it looks like Manitoba is going to play the hit on that open red rock.
They got to roll in, otherwise you're going to be.
The danger here too is if it even if it
blank.
over curls, it might end up tapping that yellow rock that's behind the guard into the open.
That might not be the end of the world if they're sitting side by side. Manitoba would be really happy to force here.
Well, let's see what Mark Franklin can do on this shot if he can get the roll.
Big scrub to hold it.
Ooh.
Just enough to push it out.
Yeah, I think that's out. But I'm sure if it ends up being a possibility, they might put a stick on it. Looks out to me. They're looking at playing a tap back, but I almost think the straight draw might be easier. Well, just like the most.
Look where they're calling the ice there, Neil.
I was expecting a bit of curl. I just wonder what the weight might be like out there. No one's gone that far out, so.
We have seen the other nights that once they get really far out, that it hangs pretty straight until the very end. So
I got a feel it might be a little heavier out there too. I would say the out turn draw is an easier shot to play, but I'm not throwing it. I'm gonna wait till they put the broom down.
So the broom's right on the boards here. Looks like they're just calling the in-turn draw.
Hit and roll, wake off maybe? This guy had
Sweepers are on it here.
to go in this one. Actually, the weight doesn't look.
Just getting out into that fresh pebble. Sweepers hold it.
The weight. You're gonna get it there. I think
It was
he
a
did.
great sweep
shot.
by Team Ontario. Able to get shot rock.
Excellent
Great
shot.
scrub. All the way down the sheet.
So I guess that's why he's throwing it, and not me. I almost think he's forced Mark to play that out-turn draw, though. See, Mark can justify that out-turn draw for you. What's that? Well, Manitoba's trying the out-turn draw, and
We're taking another look at that red on the side. Do we think it's in? I don't think it is.
I don't think
It's
it is
close.
either. I don't even think it's going to come into play anyway. So. I think it's-
Sweepers, this is close to the center line. They got to be careful once it starts to move.
It's close holes. Looked like it kind of fudged a little bit there.
Wow, did that catch something? That must have
Tapped it,
picked.
though?
I think that might have picked because they weren't touching that at all, and then it really moved. Yeah, and they're cleaning the path there. Real unfortunate break for Manitoba host, but opens the door for Team Ontario to draw in for two.
Any update on
This one looks a little hot here, Neil. It's gonna have to dig in.
I think that's going to be a little heavy.
Oh, I'm gonna slide a little deep. So only one for Ontario. So Manitoba hosts leading Ontario 6-5 with the Hammer playing 7. For all you listening, this is the 2022 Canadian Masters Curling Championships, Draw 16. I'm Daniel Burchard, and this is Neil Okamura.
Update for you on sheet A. BC took one and now leads 5-3 over Northern Ontario. That was one of the pivotal games in this championship division, as well as the one that we're commentating on.
Well, Neil, yesterday we were talking about our new special catchphrase, the Pembina pivot point.
Oh, so you've come up with some others, have you?
Well, I think that one might stick, but has there been a pivot point this game so far?
I would say it's maybe. It's hard to say, but maybe missing that draw on the last end might be a key turning point here.
Certainly putting Ontario at a disadvantage going into the last two ends.
I was almost going to say it was just a game of deuces, but I decided not to say it because I didn't want to jinx them. But still lots of curling to go though, so tight ball game. Did you have any other suggestions? Or, I don't know. We could potentially talk about. Did we talk about this one yesterday?
I think we did the Canadian Masters Magic Moment. We can sell that. We should trademark it and sell it to the 2023 hosts.
It's a mouthful, though. Could be an announcer's nightmare. Might have to use an acronym for that one. CM3.
All right, so Manitoba host coming in, just sliding into the 8-foot buried behind the center guard. Just off screen, there's a red center guard, just right in line with that yellow.
Very nice shot there. Fully in the 8-foot.
Greg Zemanski's really had his draw weight down this game. A lot of stones in the top 4, top 8-foot region when called. Ontario sweeping this, trying to get it right on top of that yellow stone.
Looks like he has a nice shot here. Oh, that's a
Very nice.
very nice shot. Manitoba is going to attempt to draw down to that red rock.
On sheet E, we've got an update. Team Yukon took 1 in the 6th end. Now trails 6-4 against Team Alberta.
Another good shot there by lead Greg Zemanski, coming down on top of that red rock area. Nice shot there by Team Ontario. Manitoba looking to hit that shot stone. That almost looked like it. It looked like that for rock fudge too, Daniel. So.
We might be seeing a few knee spots on the ice. We're seeing some players picking at some spots. We've generally seen some really good ice conditions this week, so this is the first time we've seen anything like this. But even sitting here, I can see a few prints there. You know, the weather today in Winnipeg, it's been a lot of light flurries and snow, and the minus 5 degree Celsius temperatures. So it could be causing a little bit of issues with temperature in the in the rink here.
Ontario is looking over a possible couple of shots that they might want to attempt here. I think it looks like they're going to elect to do the tap back on the shot stone. Try and promote it into the 4-foot area.
So Ontario trying to sweep this and get it to curl. It's going to get a lot of finish here. Try and get to their own red stone, just bumping it a little bit. It's rolling off, so from the hack, about half of that red stone is available.
Thick enough, but it has been kind of tricky when you throw the up weight, so it's not an easy double attempt here.
So to answer Brian Bobby in the live chat, the 2023 Canadian Masters Curling Championships are set to be played in St. John, New Brunswick. They don't have a venue set, I don't think, but as of right now, it's going to be in St. John.
That'd be a nice one to go to. Maybe you do want to go to Thompson.
Neil, you're going to try and make a play for Team Manitoba?
No interest in wanting to go to Thompson at this point. Looks like a good shot by Barry Campbell.
Spinning that red into the open, so we'll have another chance at that one on their following shot.
Just an update for you. On sheet B, it is a final. We haven't seen the last posted score, but Manitoba did come up with a victory over Saskatchewan. An update on sheet F. Newfoundland, looks like they have won their match as well. No posted score, but those two games are over.
So Kevin Daniel going to try and sink another one behind that guard.
He's going to have to curl at this point.
They're trying to see if they could try and get a piece of their own to take some of the weight off, but not enough.
He's going to slide right through the house. Will have the opportunity to make the hit on the shot rock. I think they're looking at maybe trying to hit and roll underneath.
It's a long roll, but it's probably might put them behind the tee line here. Barry Campbell on the sweep, trying to hold it. And they'll catch it and roll out the back.
This is a key shot for Kevin Daniel. Needs to make a nice draw here, try and get it fully buried in the 4-foot. Sweepers are on this one. No, this one looks like it might be late.
Really trying to hold the line here. It's going to be close to those ones in the top 12 foot. Good sweep to spin it off, but just enough to sit second shot.
Actually,
It makes that in-turn draw for Manitoba host pretty tough. That is,
it's almost completely buried too.
completely buried. There's a yellow guard about halfway up the guard zone, in line with that red stone just thrown.
I took Shifley to score.
Connor's my favorite. So.
Took Shifley to score.
Yeah, well, we knew right away as soon as it started happening. You messaged me, my wife messaged me. We just turned it off. Now it's
In the end, we just they're using one. I know you're too young for this, but you sounded like Robbie the Robot when I was young.
Robbie the Robot.
How much?
Not the Tin Man?
a lot of discussion here about this shot.
Well,
Trying to
it's in
figure
a-
out what to do.
It's in a good position for Ontario to be promoted, so you don't really want to leave it there, but you'd like to try and lie two if you could. Would you consider maybe guarding it?
Well, I think Ontario's got the little raise on the left-hand side, as we're seeing it. So if you guard it, they could play the raise and sit two. Okay, it looks like they're indicating for maybe a little bit of a split on their shot stone.
Well, that's going to be tough too, because you can't really see very much of that rock either from the hack.
So about a quarter of the stone maybe is of the stone they're trying to hit is exposed. So very precise line. But I suppose if they are a little bit wide, they could just draw right around it and sit two.
Sweepers are on it.
This one's really curling. Looks like it's going to rub off the top yellow. Try and spin it into the 8 foot.
Well, the weight was pretty good. So
Angles are all changed up a little bit. I think Ontario still has some opportunities to get another one in there.
just looking from the hack, though, none of them are easy. Because there's not a lot of rocks of the rocks showing that you'd like to promote. No.
They just got one. So Ontario.
You can update that completely. Just go ahead.
So an update on sheet A. In the 6th end, BC took one, and in the 7th end, Northern Ontario took one. So now British Columbia leads 5-4, playing 8 with the hammer against Northern Ontario. So a lot of discussion on this shot as well here. They've discussed the hit and roll off that wide one, as well as the draw, or even the little tap split of the one they just threw. Looks like they're going to call the out-turn draw. of that little cluster of rocks in the top of the house. It's mostly in Ontario's favor in terms of the angles. So they're going to try and put another one around that and leave those angles the way they are. So we've got another final on Sheet E. Team Alberta took 2 in the 7th end to win 8-4 over Yukon. And now this one's hanging out nice if they can hold it with the line.
Just a question of the weight then. Do you have the right weight? Looks pretty good.
They're just going to catch a corner of their red, but may have moved their other redstone into second shot.
I still think it's yellow if you want to go.
This might actually come in play. We might have to... Oh, and a little indication from Jamie Hay thinking that it's yellow.
From this camera angle, definitely looks like it's yellow.
It's yellow up there.
Okay.
Here it doesn't.
Apparently there will be no bet.
Well, Mark Franklin's going to play a nice hit and roll off the one in the 4-foot. Taking a lot more ice than we've seen for the hits tonight. Might be playing a little bit
He's
softer
gonna
weight.
Try and bring the weight down to like a down control or a heavy board. Maybe allow the sweepers to control it a little bit more. Definitely St. John. This one's hanging. So he's going to leave Ontario the chance to hit and roll underneath.
Yes, which one's wrong? We bumped it here because it's usually late Monday, depending upon when you start this.
So we just got some more information regarding the 2023 Canadian Masters Curling Championships. They're going to be in early April of 2023 at the Thistle St. Andrews in St. John, New Brunswick.
He's by the ace he's taken, it looks like he's going to be throwing at least normal takeout weight.
We've certainly seen Al Hutchinson's hits running a little bit straighter than the rest of his teammates.
This could be one of those Pembina pivot point moments here.
Sweepers are just waiting on it. Certainly has the weight.
It's really busting, yeah.
That really moves quite a bit, but a little click off their own red, and I think that may have moved their red into second shot as well. Wow.
Wow.
So I think red is sitting 2 now, so Manitoba's got to make a decision what they want to do.
I don't really know how much.
There may be an option just to take out, I don't know, you might be able to get both reds if you hit that yellow. I'm not sure. I suppose if you're Manitoba, a steal of 1 and taking the hammer coming home is not the end of the world. You just don't want to give up 2 here.
No. might be inclined just to try and play the draw and hold them to one. Come home with the hammer, tied. Because you really can't see a lot of that yellow rock from the hack either, so.
About thin half available. And that's what they're going to call. They're going to call that yellow.
I'm going to have to bring binoculars next game. So.
What do you mean, Neil? We've got the overhead view.
Yeah, well, when I'm looking from the hack, it just looks a lot tougher. But, I think you're right. He's going to try and angle it in and could maybe get a 2 out of it.
Certainly up the weight since the last shot. Really on the sweeping here.
I think that's going to be on the red rock. What kind of damage that could create.
Oh,
got a
and
little
able
bit
to
lucky.
redirect. And that's going to cut down Ontario to just a steal of 1.
So he holds him to the 1. Fine shot.
So it looks like we're going into the 8th end all tied up. Manitoba host is going to have the hammer.
He dodged one. What happened there?
So an update on sheet C. In the 7th end,
They took what, how many? 6 points.
I can't see there.
They
That
took
is
3, I guess.
Team Nova Scotia took 3 in the 7th end, and now leads New Brunswick 6-4. So tied game. Ontario's looking to steal here, so they're going to throw the center guard.
So we have a nice tight game in our feature match. Both very important for either team in terms of how they will finish in the standings in the championship division. I think for Team Manitoba host, this is almost a must-win situation, Daniel, if they want to keep their hopes alive of finishing in the top 4.
I would agree. They've got 3 losses right now and kind of on the cusp there. We've seen only one other result from the championship pool so far tonight, and that was Saskatchewan losing against the other team, Manitoba, which dropped Saskatchewan to 5-3. So it was a good first shot by Greg Zemansky, putting it top 4, trying to control the top 4-foot area, prevent Ontario to try and get in there. And Ontario looks like they're going to be coming in. It's probably going to be glancing off this Yellowstone.
Move it into the open, so It's not too bad a shot.
Sit shot rock, so Mark Franklin's going to indicate the hit. Early sweep out of the hand. A good scrub to hold that. It's going to roll off to the side of the house.
It'll be close. No, it'll stay in the rings. Looks like Team Ontario will try and draw on that center guard. Try and get shot rock. Supers have got to go hard on this one. Looks like it's going to come up maybe a little late.
That might be okay, and setting up the center guards even if it's a little light.
Sure, Manitoba will be peeling now. Come on, Mark, don't make me run. Sets up to make the peel of the center guard.
And Barry Campbell with a nice peel.
For the next few stones, if everybody executes, we probably will see guards put up by Ontario and peels by Manitoba. Looks like he's got a nice shot here. Excellent shot. Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Thank the volunteers and should probably thank the sponsors as well for the contributions.
Lining up for another peel here. And a good scrub.
Ontario will try and duplicate that shot they just did and put up that nice high guard.
Now, at what point, Neil, do you come in if you're Ontario? With that rock in the top 12, you have to wait until your final stone?
I think I would be. I mean, even if Manitoba decides to get aggressive, you always got to hit on their yellow one to try and roll underneath, so you do have options. Rock has got to move a little bit. Be a chance for You don't think you can hurt yourself if you go for the double peel? Or will you just elect to be conservative and just peel off the top one?
I think you just peel the top one. The double peel, you might have to play the in-turn, which could risk a jam potentially. Oh, feeling pretty confident with their hits tonight. So I can see that in-turn, but
Is there any possibility of it, the red being hit into the yellow rock? I don't think there is. So
I think so. I think the Jamie Hay in the hack is just kind of asking about if there's any jams here. So it's going to be a little bit wide on this one. It's probably just going to be the single peel. So Ontario's going to put another one back. This is going to
nice shot
finish.
here by Kevin Daniel.
Decision again. Do they want to throw that in turn and try the double peel again? They're more lined up straight in line with each other.
I think Mark will just elect to play the single peel. Just make sure they don't get overly aggressive and potentially jam. On sheet 3, the game is over. We don't know what the final score was posted, but Nova Scotia has defeated New Brunswick. A lot of announcers over there.
And a nice peel by Jamie Hay. So now it's decision time. We're getting down to Skip's Rocks.
I still think you put up the center guard. Maybe looking at playing the hit and roll.
I think keeping that yellow there might be a little bit of protection. If you're able to come buried on the in-turn on your last one, that yellow might be a catcher for any sort of raise or double opportunity. So
There is a possibility for him to play the quiet takeout on the yellow. On sheet A, Northern Ontario has apparently made a really good shot, and BC is facing, I think, two or three. They just need to draw full 8 foot though. But getting back to our game, I mean, there's a possibility to play a quiet hit and roll underneath, and if you could double them out in line 2, that would put Manitoba under a lot more pressure. I don't know if they're considering that. I mean, it is a riskier shot too, because if you ever roll out, then
a tie game, the 2 is not going to matter too much, 2 or 1. So I think either you can play even a freeze. What do you think of that? If you freeze that yellow now.
is he going to get it there? I think he's going to come up light.
We've got a final on sheet A. Northern Ontario stole 2 in the 8th end to win 6-5 over British Columbia and remain undefeated.
That does bring BC back to the pack a little, so they'll end up with a 6-2 record at this point. So maybe beneficial for the teams that are trying to catch the top teams. Terry was still discussing what possibility of a shot they might play. play the draw, Mark probably peels off the top.
So it looks like they're indicating the draw, possibly a little chip off the yellow stone, just to kind of bring it back to behind the tee line a little bit.
I'm going to say Al might be having a few drinks during. Might have to join him. We're on the wrong sheet.
Pretty high hurdle.
Yeah, so what? Who's there?
They were before.
Yeah. Oh,
So Hutchinson coming out with his first.
Looks like this might be over curling, maybe.
The sweepers are probably holding it. They're definitely
gonna
not
be
going to be
close.
playing off that yellow.
Oh, he's got good line if he gets. Oh,
Ooh,
did he
little
kick it?
little touch of the redstone. It's going to sit, shot, rock, back four.
He's been getting some nice little rubs in the last little while.
So that's going to make the straight back double pretty tough. So Manitoba's got to make a decision here. Do they peel open the top one, or do they try and follow it down and take away Ontario's draw for his last?
Well, my gut feel is telling me he's going to peel off the front, but I could be wrong because I think he's got the option of raising that rock that's in the forefoot into the red rock. And if they don't put up a really good guard, then maybe he can actually just draw down to it if he peels it off. He might be going for the double, though. What do you think, Daniel? Trouble is to make the double.
No indication for the double. It's a high risk because if you miss the double and just roll over a little bit, then you're just acting as another guard.
I think I would tend to be conservative and just peel that rock out. If he does peel it out, what do you do if you're Ontario?
I think you try and put it a little bit closer than that one. I think you want to count
Would you ever
third shot.
ever contemplate hitting the yellow and trying to roll over a little bit?
That might group the stones a little bit too much, but I think, well, let's see how this goes first.
Trying to make it curl, so maybe they are going for the double.
Well, that was always the risk of trying to attempt the double. So now Ontario can come in and
I think if you're
come
Ontario
top
now,
four.
you kind of tap off that yellow and roll underneath with just almost the same kind of weight he just threw. Take away that angle raise.
Yeah, you don't need
Or
to
would
play a
you
ton of
rather
weight.
just draw it there?
Personally, I think I would probably just play the draw again. Just did it.
Now, if you can ever get to the top button, that would be pretty well. Would Manitoba have to hit and roll off their own though?
Yeah, they might be able to have a redirect. If you're able to sit even with that yellow stone buried, Manitoba won't have the in-off because the back four stone will still count as shot. So I think that's the ideal spot if with this draw is just even with that yellow, perfectly buried. It should force either a slash hit or a draw to the side of the button on the in-turn side. Line looks
Looks
good.
like it's got to curl a bit actually.
Got a little bit more weight than the first shot.
Got to curl. Who knows? What's up with that?
A
Not
little
a
hit
bad
and
shot.
roll. Good shot by Ontario.
He's going to lead Manitoba with that in-turn draw. So, quickly made the decision. Knew what he needed to play.
So just needs full 4 foot.
He's got a bit of backing too, so as long as the line is close, he could come to the back one. Looks like he's just conferring with his sweepers on weight. This is a big shot here for Manitoba. This could be the Pembina pivot point.
Well, Neil, I don't think we can call the last shot of the game the pivot point.
I don't know. Sweepers are cleaning it.
Line looks really good. And just cleaning it in now.
Oh, he's got
That's a
nice
great shot by
Great
Mark
shot
Franklin.
by Mark Franklin.
And Manitoba host is going to take it 7-6 against Team Ontario, and now advances to a 5-3 record, and Ontario is going to drop back to 5-3. Thank you.
Just before we close out with our final commentary, again, we'd just like to thank all the people who have volunteered to help out with this event. The umpires have been spectacular, doing a great job. I have not seen any issues out there with the umpires at all. The volunteers who have worked tirelessly to host this event have done an absolutely great job. This has been a well-attended event, and everybody that I've talked to has been quite happy with how everything has gone. And finally, to the bar and kitchen staff, they're doing a great job. I think everybody here is very happy with how everything is going. So kudos to everybody who's helped support this event.
So that's going to be it for us tonight. This was draw 16 of the 2022 Canadian Masters Curling Championships. We're going to be back with the live stream tomorrow morning. It's going to be at 10 a.m. instead of 8:30, 10 a.m. Central Time. The morning draw, just like before, there's going to be no commentary, and Neil and I will be back at the 6 p.m. draw to call the Friday evening game. Anyways, thanks for watching tonight, and good night.